Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. It's awesome praise. Come on, let's do better than that. We need to do better than that. We serve an awesome God. We serve an awesome God. How many of us really know it was not easy?
All right.
What Christ had to do. It was not easy. We may think it was easy because he was God, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Most gracious Father, we thank you. We bless you for all that you have done here, still and will do. We ask you to go before us and go with us. Watch over each and every one of us. We thank you for the word that's coming forth. Let us decrease and you increase. We thank you that it's not about us, but it's about you. Holy Spirit, have your way in this place. Whatever you want to do is all right with us. We yield to you in the name of Jesus. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Let everyone say amen. 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 You may be seated. I'm going to talk to you in a few minutes before we get started. How many of us, some of you may get it, most of you may get it. How many of us think you know what this is? Look up here and tell me what you think this is right here. It's an eye. How many say an eye? Anybody say an eye? What y'all think it might be? Bullseye. Okay. Bullseye. Good, you got it right. How many of you know that as a believer, you got a bullseye on you? I want you to think about that. As a believer, you have a bullseye on you. Tell your neighbor you got a bullseye on you. You got a bullseye on you. And you may think you don't, but any believer here go each day throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, and don't have any problems? Any believers in here? Any believers don't feel like they're getting attacked by the devil? So what that tell you? You got a bullseye on you, don't you? I want you to understand, you have a bullseye on you. Now I want you to understand this also, you're not alone.
All right.
Jesus had one on him.
My Lord, that's real. That's real.
He had one on him. I know you don't think he did, but he did. Do you really think that he came on this planet and the things he did, it was easy for him to do it?
All right. That's real.
I mean, if somebody beat me, I don't think they beat me out of love.
Okay. Come on.
Not as a grown man. As a little child, one thing, but when I become grown and you beat me, that's a different story. I think I'll straighten that up because I know how some of us got whooped when we was kids. If somebody nailed me to the cross, I don't think that's, out of the love they have for me, or sacrificing me, or, wearing me out. I don't think that's love. So that tells me Jesus has a bullseye. He had a bullseye on him. So if he had one on him, guess what? You got one on you. You got one on you.
That's Bible, Pastor.
There's no ifs, ands, but. And you notice that the bullseye is pretty big. That way the adversary don't miss.
Come on. Oh boy.
He don't miss. Now, what we're going to do here is, I want y'all to see that this is what you got. Now, I'm going to draw another one up here.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to get Pastor Vanessa to come up here and assist me. I ain't writing better than mine.
All right. I sure hope you don't want to draw.
By the way,
I don't tell no story, because you know that? I ain't got no anointing for that.
That's all right. In the name of Jesus, let her circles be awesome. In Jesus' name, amen. You notice how they said they had to be perfect. I just said let them be awesome. We went to a prayer conference yesterday while she was drawing. It was awesome. I want you to draw the same thing, except it's going to be smaller. It's going to be the same thing, but smaller. Stay with them, please. Yes, we went to a prayer conference yesterday.
Two colors.
I don't discriminate. We went to a prayer conference yesterday, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And so it afterwards, I'm just watching you. It don't have to be the same thing I started with. How the way you want to do it? You know what? And I love it regardless. Love it in spite of it. Because you got to understand this. You notice she said, I'm following instructions, what you told me. How many of us tell Jesus the same thing and do the opposite?
I don't even want to answer that one, Pastor.
Quiet in the house. Quiet in. It's easy to talk this thing.
Come on, sir.
But it's a whole lot different when we have to do it.
That's real.
I ain't got into the message yet. I'm just saying, it's just something about talking and walking is two different things.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so she's going along awesome. So, like I said, awesome woman of God, in case you don't know. She is an awesome woman of God. If y'all realize what you had in this place. I'm not saying this just because she's my wife. I'm saying it because it is true.
Amen. Amen.
It is true. She prayed when I'm sleeping. Then when I wake up, she still praying. Then when I'm going out the door, she still praying. You have an awesome. She did. I told you I'd be awesome, man. I know, it didn't take a whole lot of it. All right, so we got the bullseye. I'm just setting everything up for y'all. Okay? So we got the bullseye. All right. But now, what do you think this might be? Just guessing. Yeah, but this is not a bullseye right here.
Okay.
I'll take that out right now. And it's not what I wanted it to be, but this is the best that I knew that we could do together. See, I also know her limitations.
Thank you, Jesus.
So it's going. All right, let me tell you what it is. This is a bullseye. This is a prize. Now, the reason why I said it's a prize, I know I see some of y'all, how can it be a prize that look exactly the same? Because sometimes our prize that we're going at looks similar to what is attacking us.
Oh, have mercy. Oh, have mercy.
And sometimes we got to go through something to get to the prize.
Oh, yes.
Y'all with me?
That's true.
All right, so now what I want you to do, since I kind of got everybody on the same sheet of music, I don't want you to get too far lost out there.
Okay.
I'm going to reel you back in like a fish, bring you back in.
Okay.
I want you to go to Philippians, the 3rd chapter. And the title of this message is, I'm Racing for My Soul.
Oh, Jesus.
Tell your neighbor, said, I'm racing for my soul.
For my soul.
How many people been to arcade games and stuff like this here, and you got on the machine, racing car machines, and here you racing on a motorcycle, you racing against somebody. Come on now, I know I ain't the only one that ever done that. And you sitting up there, you racing, and you trying to figure out how to do the gears when you first get on there. If you're familiar with it, that's one thing, but if not, you trying to downshift and upshift and go from first to second, and whatever you do, it'll bog it down or it'll speed you back up. And you sit up there. Why are you racing? Because you're competing, correct?
Right.
You're competing against a person that you're going up against. And your goal is to what? Win.
Right. Never know.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Your goal is to win this race. So I want us to understand, just as we compete in the natural, we also compete in the spiritual.
All right.
We also compete in the spiritual. I mean, because it's just the nature that, like, especially now, me and Elder Houston, you know, we both know that the fact is, and some of y'all know, pull up beside somebody, look over there at their car. Back in the young days, I don't do it no more. Although I can still get away with it. I got a patrol car. Pull up beside somebody, running. Y'all ladies been in cars like that where the guy's there, he's revving up the engine, looking at each other, running. Red light right there. As soon as the light turn green, you take off, right? Do it on me, I'm gonna give you a ticket. I wanna race somebody. But you do that because it's that competition that's part of us.
Yes.
We like to compete in certain things.
Yes.
Ladies like to compete sometime in looking good or fixing the best dessert or whatever. Come on now, tell the truth. Don't tell me you don't like to compete in certain things, because you do. Men like to compete in certain things. Who's the strongest? Who's the fastest? Who's the baddest? We compete. So we got that competing nature inside of us. So with that same nature there, I'm racing for my soul. That means the fact is I'm competing against somebody. I'm competing against somebody. Now the question is am I competing against you? Or am I competing against something else?
Oh, have mercy.
Well, as a child of God, and when we see this right here, and Minister Justin's going to get ready to put it up on the King James Version, and I want you to see this here. And let me get this out y'all way now, in case you can't read it. Not as though I have already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which I also am apprehended of Christ Jesus. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind me, and reaching forth unto those things which are before.
Lord have mercy.
I press, everybody say press.
Press.
I press toward the mark, everybody say mark.
Mark.
For the prize, say for the prize, of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Let us therefore as many be perfect, but thus minded, and if anything you be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. But the key verse I want us to key in on today is verse 14. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
I want you to think about that. Because as I said earlier, it's easy to talk this thing.
All right.
Oh, have mercy.
But are we really pressing in? Now, if Paul wrote this and said, I press, Paul is also telling us there were some oppositions.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Am I telling the truth?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can run a race and not have oppositions.
That's right.
You can't do it.
Real.
That's right.
You can't do it. You cannot. I'm going to tell you this now. And the opposition is not necessarily somebody else. It can be inside of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, have mercy.
Pastor, make it plain.
Yes.
The opposition can be you sometimes.
Yes.
Because in order to compete in a race, you have to get in shape.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
Quiet in the house.
My Lord.
And getting in shape is going to cost you something.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Real.
Am I telling the truth?
Oh, yes.
That means you may have to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. You may have to put away some of your favorite food. You may not can drink some of the things you like to drink because you got to get in shape to run this race.
Yes. Yes.
You got to get in shape. And all the time you trying to do this, your body gonna be saying, wait a minute, hold, what you doing?
My Lord.
Well, that hamburger you normally have every Tuesday. What about that steak there? Come on, that chocolate cake your wife done made. You know you want that right now. Me and Pastor Vanessa, we was on our way back from McDonald's. That's where we went to the prayer conference yesterday. And there's this guy who cooked some barbecue off of there on 155. And I've told her I came through there a few times then, and a couple times I came through there when he was there. He was out of barbecue by the time I got back. I mean, from what I hear people say, this is some good barbecue. I ain't gonna tell you where you gotta go, because if you go there, then I wanna go back, you might get the barbecue before I do. I tell you where to go, and those you get there in time to get me a plate too. You can pass it on. But anyway, it's one of them. Y'all know that this is not a franchise. This is one of them on the side corner barbecue cooking, and you know those are the best ones to go to. So here, of course, he ran out of ribs before we got back. But he did have some pulled pork, so we got that. Or did he fix it up them sandwiches? He didn't have no coleslaw. Pastor Vanessa wanted coleslaw. Yeah, I don't need no coleslaw. He cut the pork up. He put it on the bun. He put some barbecue sauce on that thing. And when she opened it up, I could smell it. I'm trying to drive. We ain't had breakfast. I'm trying to drive. She enjoyed her sandwich. But see, I can't eat mine because I don't do that driving and eating. I get mess all on myself and hit somebody. So I'm driving and I'm looking at her. Lord gave my thoughts. I ain't gonna lie to you. She's sitting up there, she eating, and I'm looking at all that sauce running down the side. And it's smelling so good. And I wanted to pull over the side to eat mine. But I couldn't, I kept on driving. And I looked at her and I kind of tell when Pastor Vanessa getting a little full. She was 3/4 of the way. I said, you full yet? She said, no, I ain't going a little bit faster. I ain't gonna lie to you, though. I was hoping she said she was full so I could get that little bit. She wasn't full. She took it on down. Then she wanted something to drink. And so she was talking about stopping at Hardee's to get a milkshake. And I'm saying, I don't want to stop at Hardee's. The reason why I didn't, because that's longer, before I can get to my sandwich. So of course, we're coming back past by the church. So I'm coming back past by the church. And she said, well, we can stop at the church. There's something in there to drink. So we stopped back. I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to go in with you. You get your drink. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm coming back. I'm going to get my sandwich. I ain't driving no further. I ain't driving no further. I got that sandwich. I said, this is a slice of heaven. I'm sure looking forward to that. And I said that because, see, these are things that you have to compete when you try to get in shape.
That's true. That is true.
Y'all feel me?
Yes.
And so if I'm going to run this race, that means I got to get in shape and I got to know who I'm really competing with. See, my competing is not against you. My competing that Paul is talking about is against the devil. That's who you competing against. Because his desire is for you to lose this race.
Yes.
Tell your neighbor he wants you to lose this race.
He wants you to lose this race. Oh, yes.
He wants you to lose.
So true.
And if you lose this race, you end up where he's going to be.
Oh, yes.
That's why Paul said that I press. He said that the reason why I got to press because there's things in my way that I got to push through.
Oh, yes.
I can't let it hinder me. I can't even let you hinder me. Because everybody said they for you ain't necessarily for you.
That's true. That's so true.
Am I telling the truth, somebody? You know some of those that said, I'll pray for you, and here they are, they trying to stab you while they trying to pray for you, and they praying against you. I'm praying for you. So Paul said, I gotta press, I gotta push, I gotta fight my way through. Some of us need to get into a good fight. Because some of us don't know how to fight. That's why when the pressure comes, we turn to go the other way. You know what a good fighter do? Number one, in a good fight, you either gonna win or lose. But if you lose, you know how you lost.
That's right.
All right, I should have ducked instead of standing.
Okay.
I should have jabbed instead of swinging. You pick up some notes. You learn from that fight. You understand where I'm coming from? And if you win, it encourages you to keep going.
Yes.
Some of us, we don't want to get into a good fight, much less a fight period, because we love the running instead of the standing. He said, I got to press toward the mark. Now understand, when he said mark, it's not just anything thrown out there.
Right. That's right.
Some of us go after anything that looks good. Amen, somebody. Some of us will follow anybody that taught the right stuff that make my money feel good. Some of us, oh yeah, he said that good, I'm going after him. She said that good, I'm going after her. But ain't never lining up with the word. Ain't none of it lining with the word. It just sounds good. Well, a whole lot of people got in trouble listening to stuff that wasn't right. A whole lot of people got caught up looking at stuff that wasn't right. Just because something looked good don't mean it's good for you.
That's right.
If you don't believe it, ask your first mother. Ask Eve.
Okay.
She looked at the fruit and said, oh, this looks pretty good. But what did it do? It opened up the door for sin to come in.
Yes.
And so just because something look good, something sound good, don't mean necessarily it's good for you. A 10-pound chocolate cake may look good, but don't mean it's good for you. Because what goes on the lips got to come on the hips. Yeah, let the church say amen. We need to understand that the fact is, when I'm pressing toward the mark, I need to know what mark I'm pressing toward.
That's right.
Understand, I ain't gonna get in no 50K race.
What's the end game? That's
I ain't finna get into that. I don't care what they got to offer. You ain't finna kill me out there trying to run that thing.
right.
I'm not in shape for that. Now 3K, a couple of from here to there, I'll give you a shot. But a 50K, no. But outside the 3K, I want to know what's at the end waiting on me.
All right now. That's right.
A whole lot of us don't know what's at the end waiting on us because we ain't asking. We ain't asking. And then the thing is this here. If I'm going to get in the race, I'm going to go to somebody that's already in the race. Why? Because I want to know some of the things that they know that they can offer and tell me that can help me in this race. I don't have to follow everything they say, but at least I got a little insight of what to expect. And Paul tells us that. He tells us that. So Paul said, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ. He said Jesus is at the end. That's the mark I'm pressing for. That's the mark I'm pressing for. Have you ever questioned, what are you pressing toward?
That's right.
Have you ever asked yourself, what is the prize that you're going after?
I want to be like him, my Lord.
That is what is wrong with the church.
Right.
We're no longer trying to be like Christ. We're trying to be like everybody else. We're trying to be like everybody else. Instead of being like the one that created us. We're chameleons. Y'all familiar with a chameleon does, right? A chameleon changes whatever atmosphere is in. If he likes the green, he'll become green. If he likes the brown, he'll become brown. If he likes the yellow, that's what a lot of church folks do. Whatever I'm with. Wherever I'm around, that's who I'm with. That's what we do. And so that's why when we trying to witness somebody looking at us, come on, be for real, I saw you in the club Friday.
Right.
How you gonna talk to me and you in the club hanging out with more liquor than you than I had in a glass?
My Lord.
Walking out with the guy, and I know that wasn't your husband because he was at home walking out with another, keep bringing another woman in the door. How you gonna witness on somebody changing all these different colors? Well, that can't happen. So that if if God is saying that I got to press toward a mark of the high calling, because there's a prize there.
Oh, have mercy. Hallelujah.
There's a prize there. Tell your neighbor, say there's a prize there.
There's a prize there.
That means I need to stay in this race. Because there's an old saying, quitters never win, and winners never quit. One of the things I can say, I was 50 years old when I went to when I got on with the sheriff. No, I was 50 years old when I went to mandate. I was the third oldest person in there. It was at Clayton County, and for 10 weeks. It was like a military style mandate training. So we had guys there pretending to be drill sergeants. Get off the bus and all this stuff. It was kind of funny to me because I'm ex-military. So they sitting up here talking all this smack here, and we had to do push-ups and all this stuff. And I'm in the room, there was 3 of us. There was 2 more guys that was older than me. And I'm sitting in there, and I'm doing my push-ups and stuff, and part of me was saying, what did I get into? Hey, tell the truth, show me that. Okay? But it was something I wanted to do. Something I wanted to do. And so there was young guys beside me in their early 20s. Couldn't do what I was doing. Not that I was in the best of shape. I ain't too bad right now. But not that I was in the best of shape. But they couldn't do what I was doing. And they was quitting. They was quitting.
Wow, okay.
And the instructors was all on me. And then, like I told you, I'm ex-military. So when I did go into the military back in 73, 73, when I went to the military, and I've told some of y'all this story, that the fact is this, when I went to basic training and everybody in there crying and stuff, I called my mother on the phone. She said, I didn't raise a quitter.
Okay. Come on now. No pity party.
So guess what? I kept going. And that's been part of me, not to quit in anything I'm doing. And so with this right here, which is I'm in a race for my soul, I can't quit. Because see, here's the deal, I don't know where the finish line is. See, the thing about the natural race is you got an idea where the finish line is.
Yes.
You know the course, the whole 9 yards. You know the obstacles and stuff. But in this race, you don't know that. But I still got to keep pressing.
That's right. That's right.
I still got to keep pressing. And a lot of us, because we don't know, soon as something comes up, oh, I can't handle that.
That's true. That's true.
I got to quit. Money, I got to quit. Work, I got to quit.
Come on.
I got to quit. And the thing is this here, you're quitting on the one that can strengthen you. You're quitting on the one that knows the race better than you. You're quitting on the one that's sitting right there and say, come on, you can do it. I'm right here with you. The worst thing I can't stand is I'm investing myself in somebody and they quit on me.
Oh, my goodness. Upset.
How would you like it? You pour it in, you helping, and this person just decides, you know what, I don't need you, I'm going to quit. Ooh, I be wanting only because I'm on YouTube and video, I won't say what I'm saying. I mean, come on, parents, how many times your kids have quit on things you're trying to get them to do? And don't they get to you?
Yes.
And for you young parents, don't worry, y'all will get there.
Okay.
It gets to you. Because why? You see what they don't see. You see the potential in them that they don't see in themselves. And you trying to pull it out of them.
Yes.
And when you quit, you sit up there and you shortchange your own self.
My Lord, have mercy. My Lord.
Come on.
So Paul is saying that the fact is, I pressed, I fought, I pushed through. I endured. And if you look back over Paul's life when he went from Saul to Paul, it wasn't easy.
Sure enough.
He went through some things.
Yes, you did.
He really did. And he kept pushing and he kept fighting and even rejoicing.
Wow. Be like Jesus. Come on. Be like him. My God.
Being like Jesus. See, the thing is this here. In this race, what the race do is the race will show you some things that you don't know about yourself.
Yes.
It'll bring some things out of you that you didn't know what was in you.
That's true.
Y'all hear me?
Amen.
If you really look at Paul, Paul did not know that. The fact is that even when he was Saul, that when he became Paul, he didn't think that the fact is when I get beaten, I'm gonna still be running for Jesus. He didn't think that I'm gonna still be sitting up there praising Jesus and saying how good Jesus was. And understand, Paul got his warning shortly after his name got changed.
Yes. Yes.
But he said, I'm gonna go through anyhow.
Lord have mercy. That's right.
I'm gonna push my way through anyhow.
Yes. Yes.
If it costs me my life, let it cost me my life.
My.
Because I know there's a greater reward on the other side.
Oh, show that.
Are you willing to actually allow God to push you where He's trying to take you?
Ooh.
See, that's the question you need to ask yourself. Next Sunday is Resurrection Sunday.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll come out and we'll have service and everything. But what you going to do between now and then? Are you really ready? Are you really going to allow God to push you into that next level? Are you going to let God take you deeper than where you ever been? Are you going to let God take you higher than where you ever been? Yeah. Are you willing to run this race and stay in this race until the end?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to talk this thing. But what about when push comes to shove?
Yeah. Right. Glory.
What about that? What about that? What are we going to do then? What are you going to do then? Are you going to quit and throw in everybody familiar with Rocky, the series Rocky? You know, I like Rocky. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't lie to you. I like Rocky, you know. The acting wasn't that great, Sylvester Stallone, but you know. One thing I like, if you ever notice, Rocky kept fighting. I mean, you see his box, he would sit there, be bleeding, he'd get hit, and he turn around, he fight back and stuff like this here. He stand up in there. His coach be telling him, you need to just stop. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. He just keep blow after blow after blow. Of course, I'm all in the car. Bam, come on, bam! And he just fighting. He just fighting. And the thing for us is, how many of us are really fighting?
My Lord. My Lord.
And how many of us are really stay into the fight to the very end?
Come on.
How many of us are really see in that first fight with I think it was either the first movie or the second one, where when it was over with, he gonna call Adrian his wife. Adrian. I would say, Jesus. Because I knew where my strength came from.
All right.
But I'm not knocking it because it's the movie. But the thing is this here, is that when you in a fight, you need to know who to call. And too many of us, it's not that we don't know, but our flesh, that ain't our first thought.
Okay.
Amen, somebody.
Amen.
That's not our first thought. We call everybody else. Hey, can you give me a loan? We call everybody else. Hey, I got a headache. I need counseling and stuff like this here. Let me see. Jesus said, if I pay all my tithes and offering.
All right, Pastor.
Yeah, if I pay all my tithes and if I bring everything into the storehouse, that there will be meat for many. And he said that I will pour out.
Hallelujah, God.
Yes.
Can I talk about my finance? If I ain't got, I'm going to say that if I do what he asked me to do, he's going to pour out.
Right.
Don't we find out in Isaiah that he said, unto you a son is born? He should be called Wonderful Counselor. That means somebody I can talk to. Mighty God, Prince of Peace. That means no matter what hell I'm going through, I can rest in His peace. Why do I need to come to you?
My Lord.
Y'all follow me? These everything that we need is right there.
Jesus.
I mean, I'm not knocking doctors, I'm not knocking counselors, but I need to go to Jesus first.
Amen.
If I go Him first, He might save me some money.
Have mercy.
Am I telling the truth?
Yes.
If I go to Him with my tithes and offering, I might not have no holes in my pocket. Quiet in the house.
That's true, though.
If I fast a few days, He might not only lose weight, He might tell me some things.
Yes.
That's if I know Him and trust Him. It all comes from a relationship. Paul had a relationship. Ask your neighbor, do you have a relationship? I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about with Jesus. Do we? So we talk about that. We're going to look at a few scriptures here, man. I'm not going to hold you too long. Even though it's raining outside, keep you in, keep you dry, keep you cool. I mean warm instead of so you be cool. Thank God it ain't raining real hard because some of y'all. I know our people. I know our people. One of the things you learn as you become a pastor, and Apostle knows this, and Pastor Vanessa and Elder know this here, and those others, when you sit up here and you start seeing people drifting, and ain't no music playing, you better do something quick. You better crank it up. Because they trying to throw little hints out there to you. Say the clock is running out on this ever-ready battery. I'm winding down. And if you don't hurry up, you're going to find me. Any Baptist people in the house? No, don't take that out of the video. I don't know what Baptist folks think. I'm knocking on them. I'm not knocking on them, okay? Y'all don't let no Baptist folks think I'm knocking on them. I have never known what that stood for. I thought it was standing for being quiet, trying to get out the door. Say what?
We're trying to get out.
You trying to get out the door? Oh, that's what it is? Well, some of y'all lying because some of you go in the bathroom and come back out. Get out the door, go out the door. Don't be going in the bathroom and coming back. Y'all know I like to have fun. You can't have fun, don't come around me. I want you to go with me to 2 Timothy 4:8. 2 Timothy 4:8. 2 Timothy 4:8. Once you get there, say amen. 2 Timothy 4:8. I want you to understand that this is we talk about the mark and the prize. Well, this is one of the prizes that we can look forward to when we run this race. You got it? 2 Timothy 4:8. Let me find it. Because I want to make sure I'm seeing it. Finally, there laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that day, and not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearance. What y'all saying? There's a crown waiting on you. There's a crown waiting on you. Tell your neighbor, say, there's a crown.
There's a crown
waiting on you. With your name on it.
With your name on it. Hallelujah.
There's a crown. See, understand this here is that even though Paul said, mark of the prize, now he's telling us a little bit about what some of the prizes are.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I can show a profile of crown. I can walk around with that crown on my head. And the thing is, it's because I love Jesus. Come on. You understand where I'm coming from? I love Jesus. And the good part about it is, he'll put the crown on my head.
Hallelujah.
Can you imagine the King of Kings and Lord of Lords? You sit before him and he come and take the crown and put it on top of your head. He don't send no angel over. He don't send nobody. He put it personally on top.
Come on.
The crown of righteousness. Because of who he is. And how much he loves us. See, that's the reason why you got to stay in the race.
That's right.
Because one of the things about his crown is not corrupt.
No.
It won't tarnish.
That's right.
It won't perish. Everything in there is real.
That's right.
Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't worried about nobody stealing it.
All right.
Because guess what? You'll get one too.
Yes.
You'll get one too. That's because you're pressing.
Yes.
You're pushing.
Yes.
You're striving for that mark. And that's why you got to stay in the race.
Oh, yeah.
You got to stay in there. This race is, you ain't going through this for nothing. You're going through it for something. And that something is Jesus and the crown. There's a purpose in this.
Amen.
There's a purpose. Tell your neighbor, said there's a purpose.
There's a purpose
In this race.
in this race.
We don't think about that. We don't think about it. You know, how many times you ever did something just to be doing it? And don't say yeah, because you have. You all have. Just did something. I ain't got nothing to do. Let me go do something. Wash the clothes. Even though they've been need washed 3 months ago.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, everybody can tell it when they walk in the house.
3 months, they need
Let me go back out. I left something. Okay. Rough crowd here. See, that's why I know I ain't worried about making it to heaven. I'm good at the jokes and stuff what I do. See, y'all didn't understand. I don't do this to make you laugh. I just have a good time when I'm ministering about Jesus. And when I'm doing this here is because the fact is I just enjoy it. I love laughter. Don't interfere on her. I bring everybody from the dead back to life. I mean, just like that. Pastor Vanessa, Lord, I don't care how mad she get. I don't do this all the time. Sometimes when she mad, I know to stay away. No, I ain't going in there. It ain't enough beans in there to get me in there. No, I starve. She's too hot. When I walk to the door and I see the room glowing red, and I feel the heat, let me go out and see that little TV a little bit more. And Lord, Ella, don't let it be my fault. I got to go somewhere then. And I love that I got a wife that I can make fun with her.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that if I couldn't make fun. But the thing is this here, I love, and the Bible said laughter is like good medicine.
That's good. That's good.
So if Jesus knows that the fact is that can bring you joy and it's better than medicine at times, hey, take in a good laugh. Take in a good one. I have her Evangelist Taylor was going down to that prayer conference Friday night, and he was on the phone. I just had them cracking up. I had them cracking up because they had me through the radio. You know, she got one of them expensive cars where you can talk and, you know, and Bluetooth right through the phone. You know, I don't have one. I got the old-fashioned car. You know, you got to hold the phone to your ear. And so she and her, they just cracking up, and you know, I stay. I better cool down because I don't want her to have an accident on the way. But the thing is this, I you know, that's just me. I had her laughing and they see that's one of my ways when she get mad and I can't go into the room, I'll make her laugh. Hoping that she forget what she mad about, especially if it got to do with me. It don't necessarily always work. Because she was saying, how did she get through wiping the tears and stuff? All right, now back where we were. Time for me to leave again. I just realized I need to go to my office. I'm going to tell you now, my office is my bathroom, sacred place. Go in there and lock the door. I know these two ladies. You've been here before, right? This your first time? This your first time too, man, right? Yes. Y'all, they said that same, boy, this is the kind of pastor they got here. I don't know how long I'm back. Pray for me. That's all I can tell you. Pray for me. I'm not like this all the time. Everybody else know me, you know.
So are you saying that you changed like the person you were talking about?
Oh, the chameleon.
Salute you. Woo! I don't know what to say about that one. That was good. That was good. And no, really, I do have fun all the time. You know, I just sometimes I get more carried away than other times.
That's don't change.
Right. I don't no. But what I mean by that is sometimes I go a little bit farther on my side of making people laugh. And then, so that's what I mean. I say I'm not like this all the time. Yeah, you're going to laugh now. You hang around me, you're going to laugh. I'm telling you, and Lord, and Lord help you if you don't been to the doctor and you're trying to keep your stitches together. Okay. Woo, I might have a challenge up in here. Let's get back to the word. But I like to have fun with the word. All right, so now let us go to Hebrews, the 12th chapter. Because understand this here, while we're running this race, everybody familiar with Hebrews 12 and 1?
Yes.
We're not in this race by ourselves. Nor are we just running and nobody's encouraging us if we will listen.
Right.
Y'all follow me? The best thing about running a race is when you're running and there are people saying, go on, keep going, hang on in there, you can do it, don't quit, just go on a little bit farther. Don't that make you feel good?
Yes.
It makes you feel good. That's your encouragement.
Yes.
Look what it says. Wherefore, seeing we also are compressed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. You got some witnesses. Tell your neighbor, say, I got some witnesses. That are there to encourage you every step of the way. Come on, give God some praise right there. When you're going through something, you got a witness there that will encourage you in your breakdown, in your upset, in your frustration, no matter how hard it is. You got somebody to encourage you. And here's the good part about it. They've been through it too.
Come on.
They are familiar with what you're going through.
My Lord.
So we can't sit up here and say, I'm in this Bible. No.
That's right, don't. No. That's the
You got somebody that's cheering you on.
Yeah, man.
And here's the other reason why you got to stay in the race. Because as they cheer you, you got to encourage others. How you going to encourage me if you done quit?
That's right.
Come on.
How you going to do that? I need somebody that done crossed the finish line. I don't need nobody that's sitting on the sideline. Oh yeah, well, I ran it, but I quit. You know, you can do it though. No.
Right. All right now.
No.
My Lord.
I need somebody that's going to encourage me that's been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in the concept, he also said, he said, so let us lay aside every weight and sin which so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. This race is not given to the strong, it's not given to the swift, but it's given to the one that's endured. I don't have to be the fastest, I don't have to be the slowest. All I got to do is keep my pace. That's all I got to do. I got to keep my pace. I don't care how fast you run. I don't care how slow you run. I'm just maintaining my pace.
Hallelujah. Glory to God. Glory to God.
That's it.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
That's it.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's it. And the good part about it, if I speed up, that's all right. If I slow down, that's all right. Just keep going.
Oh, yes.
Tell your neighbor, say, keep going.
Keep going.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. You can't quit.
My Lord.
And I want you to understand something. That before you can start the race, you got to get rid of some stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
See, understand that a runner, before he may come out there loaded down, depending on the temperature, loaded down with coats and sweats and all this stuff on, but next thing you know, you see him start
Coming out.
get everything off. Unlighten the pockets, get everything off. Because he want to make himself as light as possible.
Yeah.
He don't need to be dragging stuff with him he don't need.
That's right.
See, too many of us dragging stuff we don't need. We carrying on stuff from last week, last month, last year. My mama, my daddy, my job, my uncle, whatever it is. I ain't got nothing. I'm bringing that with me. You ain't going nowhere with it. You ain't going nowhere with it.
My.
He said, lay aside. Put it to the side. Get rid of it. Get in it and stay in it. Get rid of it. Don't hold on to it. You in a race. You want to stay in the race. You know, the thing is, the more stuff you got on you, the slower you go.
Oh, yeah.
And the less likely you'll stay in the
That's
race.
right. That's right.
Because it's going to kill you along the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
It's going to kill you. It's going to weigh you down. That's extra weight. Went to the doctor Friday. Went out to my doctor, meet my new doctor and stuff. And so, of course, I was in my uniform and stuff. So now I get on the scale. The scale was screaming for help. Help! Get him off of me. No, I really wasn't doing like that for real. But when I saw this, I screamed. I get on that scale is showing 245 pounds.
Oh, no. That was that uniform.
That was with everything. That was with gun belt. That was with taser. That was with the vest on. That's with wallet in my pocket, cell phone. That's with everything, ammunition, all this stuff. I'm on the scale with that. And I'm looking at this thing here and I wanted to beat the stew out of it. Because I knew that scale wasn't right. But I had nowhere to lay my stuff. So I had to keep it on. Understand what I'm saying? I had to keep it on. There are us that we got stuff. Okay, yes, some stuff we may hold on to, but if it ain't godly, you don't need to hold on to it. Let me throw that out there right now. But some of us are stubborn. Amen, somebody. We still holding some stuff from last month, last week. Okay, I'm just saying, you know who you are. But we'll sit up here, we don't understand. At the doctor's setting, I didn't need that stuff. I didn't need that stuff. If I'm running this race, I don't need that stuff. See, you understand, there's stuff you don't need with you in this race. You need to let it go. You don't want to let it go. You think you need it, but you don't need it. You know why? Because Jesus said, I shall supply all your needs. I don't need to take a bottle of water. Somebody there, they got some water. I don't need to take a towel. Somebody gonna have some towel. I don't need to take anything. All I got to do is run it. That's all I got to do is run it. Everything I need is going to be along the course. Everything I need is going to be along the course. And we don't understand that, and we don't believe that because we don't trust the... We don't trust the God we serve. When I trust the God and say, I'm going to take care of you, then I trust He's got everything taken care of. He got everything I need along the way.
Trying to have a ram, Pastor.
We trying to get a ram on the side.
That's it. That's it.
But I'm telling you something about that ram. That ram is heavy. That ram may fight you.
Come on.
That ram gonna cause you some problems. Y'all understand where I come from? You got to deal with that ram yourself because you brought him with you. See, a lot of us bring a mess that we got to deal with. Can't nobody else deal with it because you brought it, so you deal with it. Run this race. Leave everything to the side. Don't hold nothing. Keep it, kick it away. Trust God. He'll supply everything you need. That's how you say, because there's a crowd waiting for you at the end.
Hallelujah.
There's a crowd waiting for you at the end. So stay in the race. Tell your neighbor, say, stay in the race. Tell two more people, say, stay in the race. Stay in the race. I said two more people, so it'll be 3 people total now. Number 2 says, look unto Jesus, the author
And the
finisher
of our faith.
of our faith. Wait a minute. If he's the author starts the book. It says the finisher, right?
Right.
He's the finisher of the book, right?
Right.
Well, you can't start something and finish something unless you also fill in everything in between.
All right.
So he started me on this race. That's right. He done finished me on this race. But meanwhile, he got everything in between. If I just be obedient to him, he got everything in between. He got it. Why do I need to trust myself who didn't write the race, but got to run this race? Why do I need to trust myself and I don't know nothing about the race rather than trust the person that made up the race course? You understand where I'm coming from? And that's That's what he wants us to do. He said, looking unto Jesus, author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Man, I'm looking for the joy that no matter what I go through, there's going to be joy at the end.
Hallelujah.
See, understand that race is not easy. It's not. You got some hills and you got some valleys.
Yes.
You got some curves and you got some straight roads. You're going to have times when it's raining and you're going to have time when it's hot.
That's
But guess what? Stay in the race.
right.
Because I'm racing for my soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, understand, this ain't no flesh thing that I'm racing for. When it comes to flesh, I'm racing McDonald's. Or Longhorn, you know, steak day. Longhorn, steak day. Longhorn, steak day.
Come on. That's real. Love this steak.
All right, let's move on. Y'all get y'all mind on food. Y'all forget stuff. He said, set before him, endure the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And guess what? I ain't gonna sit at the right hand of the throne of God, but I'm gonna sit right next to the Holy Spirit of Jesus. I don't mind being number 4 in the line.
Okay.
Right there, but outside them for a few minutes. You understand where I'm coming from? I don't have no problem with that. I don't have to be God. I don't have to be Jesus. I don't have to be the Holy Spirit. I ain't trying to be them. Don't want to be them. God, Lord knows if I were God, a whole lot of people be in trouble. I'm glad I ain't God. But the fact is this here, just to know I'm in that presence.
Oh, yes.
And knowing that it's not for temporary. In other words, you know how you go to the ATM and you put your card in there and it says NF, non-sufficient funds? I think that's the abbreviation. Yeah. You know, when you're trying to get money out and it says ain't no money in there? See, that's like stepping into heaven and being there for a few minutes and turn around, you don't have no reservations, so you got to leave.
Oh, don't want that.
I'm not holding up for that.
Don't want that.
See, when I get in, I'm staying in. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I know what I'm going to do. That's why I'm staying in the race. Because I don't want to get up there and they think, you know, and just say, wait a minute, hold on, what you here for? You ain't have reservations here. The worst thing you can do is go to a hotel. If you thought you had reservations, ain't no reservations there. No, I ain't having that. No. That's why you gotta stay in the race. Because at the time you get ready to quit, that might be the time you wipe out your reservation.
That's right.
Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
Let's move on. I'm having too much fun. All right, let's stay in Hebrews, but go to the 4th chapter in Hebrews. Back up a few chapters. Hebrews 4. Hebrews 4. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. I'll take y'all back to y'all Baptist days. Chapter 4. What's somebody say?
You're still with your roots, the Baptist stuff.
Oh boy. Chapter 4, verse 14. Seeing that we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, verse 14. The Son of God, let us hold fast our confession.
Profession.
For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weakness, but was in all points tempted as we are yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace,
Hallelujah.
that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Why did I go to that? Because every good runner has a good coach. And every coach, in order to teach you, has already been through what you got to go through. Y'all follow me? And so what we see is that, hey, I know how to help you win this race.
That's right.
Because I won it myself. I know what you got to go through because I've been through it myself. I know the aches and pains. I know the weaknesses. I know the curves. I know the valleys. I know the depths. I know it all because I've been there before you got there. And I'm here to take you through it.
Glory, glory.
That's the kind of coach we got. We're not in this race by ourselves, but we got somebody right there, the Holy Spirit, that is willing to take us. And here's the deal. Because the Holy Spirit lives in me, guess what? When I get tired, he kicks up a notch.
All right, come on. That's real.
All right, that's real.
He kicks up a notch.
Yes.
If I need him, he's right on time. Ain't never been late. Never been late. We got to quit depending on ourselves. You can't depend on yourself in this race. Might as well tell you can't depend on yourself in this race. You can't do it. Tell your neighbor, take your neighbor by the hand and say, you can't depend.
You can't.
Take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, you can't depend on yourself in this race.
Hallelujah.
God bless the Lord. Give God some praise. And here's what I like about Jesus. Jesus said, I ain't get so high that I ain't got nothing to do with you no more. You know how some people, they get stuff like that, you know, they sit up there, I don't know you. Oh, you low class. I ain't got nothing to do with you. Y'all ever come across people like that? They think they better than you? I'm glad to know that the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is right on my same level. He's right there. He don't treat me like I am, you know. He don't treat me like that. He come right down with me.
That's right.
He don't mind getting in the mess I got to get in and pull me out. You see, he'll get in the mess you need and pull you out of the mess that you need. What kind of God we serve? That's an awesome God. Because I'm going to tell you that some things you get in, you ain't by yourself. But the things that when we get in it, God will pull us right on the See, if you understand, when Peter was out there, and Peter got out there on the water, he was walking on the water, just walking along, looking at Jesus. He had his eyes on the prize. He's watching the prize. He's going to the prize. The storm came. The water come. And he did like a lot of us.
Took his eyes off the prize.
And when he did that, he started going down. Too many of us do that too. We got our eyes on the prize.
My Lord.
But then the storm comes.
My.
And we're going down.
Down.
And thank God for Jesus.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Never late, always on time. We stand and encourage him back up. And see, here's the deal. Jesus wasn't so high that he couldn't reach down and pull him up. And nowhere in the Bible does it say that that Peter went up under the water. It just said he went down into the water. Jesus only let you get so far, then he gonna pull you back on up. He only gonna let you go so far, then he gonna say, I need to pull you back out of this mess. Because the mess you in right now gonna kill you. That's the kind of coach we got. That's why I want you to stay in this race. So when things ain't going the way you want to go, understand this. He might be saying, no, that ain't good for you. You think it's good, but I know better. I see what you don't see. So I got to pull you back before you get into something that you can't. That's why we have to stay in the race. All right, 3 more, we'll be done. Now, we talked about ourselves. We talked about staying in the race. We talked about we talked about Jesus. And I told you, I said in my illustration, I said there's a target on your back. And I told you that the fact is Jesus had a target on his back. But also we saw earlier in scripture where he talked about he's a high priest. He went forward. You saw the cross. So he was seeing the prize too. So just you know, the big boy is the target, the little one is the prize. See, understand they said prize ain't always got to be big. Some of us want to go after the big thing. Sometimes the big thing ain't good for you. So now I want you to see what Jesus went through. Matthew 26. We're going to look at Matthew. Look at these scriptures right quick. Matthew 26. Is it hot in here? Everybody good?
Yep.
We're good.
Y'all sure?
Hot.
It's hot. So say you with me. Look at it. Somebody talking about where your fade. Come on.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got your fade?
Yes, yes, sir.
Just say, you know, say, I ain't got no fade. Turn the AC on.
I do what you tell me to see on.
No, it's too late now. Don't mess me up. Don't mess me up.
I got a fan
Don't mess me up, sister.
and the AC. Come on.
Me and you got to get together so we understand our code language.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She missed you a little bit.
Ooh.
But you know I need them both.
Well, I look at it like this here. I'll take this heat over hell heat any day. I will take this heat over hell heat any day. All right, Matthew 26. I want us to look at, starting at verse 36. Then Jesus came with them to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to the disciples, sit here while I go and pray over there. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and he began to be sorrowful and deeply distressed. Now understand that this happened during this week here. Because he's getting ready, next week is Easter.
Yes.
Then he said to them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. That's a strong word. Stay here and watch with me. And he's giving them commandments. He's giving them orders. So I want you to sit here and do what?
Watch.
Tell your neighbor you need to be watching. He went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, oh my Father, if it is possible, everybody say the word possible.
Possible.
Let this cup pass from me. I'm sorry. Oh my Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. I want you to think about that, man. A lot of us will get there and then we'll read to the next slide.
Come on.
But I want you to think about what he said right there. If it's possible, let me not partake of what I got to go through. Let me not have to partake the beating of the cross. Let me not have to take the shame. Let me not have to take the spit. Let me not have to take the beard being ripped off. Let me not have to be take on the portion of being nailed to the cross. Let me not have to take on the portion of the weight of all the sin coming upon me. Let me not have to be separated from you.
Jesus.
Now I want you to think that because a lot of people don't understand why he said that. Because he is getting ready to go into a realm that he's never been in before.
Yes.
He's never been there before. The separation from him and God has never existed before. Him knowing what sin is, he has never known sin before. Y'all understand? The beating that he's got, he's never had a beating before. Understand? He was one of them children that never got a whooping.
Okay.
I sure would like, oh, you didn't get no whooping in?
Oh, Jesus.
That's why you rough as you is right now? Dr. Cook is one bad sister, I'll tell you how that
That's
is. He never experienced this before. So he's saying, if it's possible, I don't want to go through this.
Come on.
I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through this. This target on my back, I don't want this target.
That's real.
Understand? I don't want it. And I want you to really think about that for a few minutes. Because we holler about what we don't want to go through. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
I want me a sacrifice. I don't want to fast. I I don't want to pray. I don't want to get tithes.
Okay.
I don't want to be in Bible study. I don't want to be in prayer. Barely want to come to church. Lord help me, when it's raining, I don't want to show up then. We can go on with the list and list and list of what we don't want to do. But the other part I like about this here is that he said, nevertheless.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
And a whole lot of us don't have that nevertheless spirit.
Amen.
Understand, when I say nevertheless, it's no longer about me. It's about the one I serve.
Oh, yes.
And a whole lot of us haven't got that. We're not serving him because we can't say nevertheless.
Yes.
We can't say it. Oh, we can say it, but I'm talking about being truthful with it.
That's right.
Yes.
Because nevertheless, it's going to cost you something.
Oh, that's right.
Amen, somebody. Nevertheless, it's going to change your life. Nevertheless, it's going to have you do things you don't want to do. Nevertheless, it's going to cause you to sacrifice some things.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, nevertheless. Because the nevertheless is saying, you're saying, is no longer about me.
Show enough. Show enough.
I'm putting myself to the side.
Yes, yes.
And I'm placing you above me.
Oh, yes.
Nevertheless, even in marriages, it's hard to do. Amen, somebody.
Lord Jesus.
Husbands want things that way. Wives want things that way. He said, nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. It ain't about me no more. It ain't about me no more, Father. It's about what you want done. What you want done, Lord. Have you ever went to God and said, God, it ain't about me no more? What do you want, God? I surrender. I give it up. I'm letting it go. What about you? What is it you want me to do? And I want you to understand something. When he said that, he didn't go into it with a negative attitude. He didn't go into it, no. He went into an attitude of humility, total surrender, and joy.
Yes, yes, yes.
Can we do that? Can you do that? Can you sit there and trust God so much that you can tell God, nevertheless, let your will be done. I will follow your word. I do what you ask me to do. I don't care what it's going to cost me.
Yes.
Can you really tell God that?
Yes.
Understand you're running a race for your soul. And that nevertheless can save your soul.
Oh, yes. Oh, have mercy.
That nevertheless can save your soul.
Yes.
But you got to do it nevertheless. Not my will, but thy will be done.
Amen. Amen.
And if we would get that the fact is this week here is Palm Week, and if you were back, we were back there at that time, that in a few more days, he's going to go through that, and he went through that, and he said that, and understood what it cost him, what he had to deal with. See, understand this here in the Garden of Gethsemane. This is what Matthew wrote. But I want you to see another portion of the same thing. Go to Mark 14. Jump on there in Mark 14. Let's see what Mark has to say when he talk about him going into the Garden of Gethsemane. Mark 14. Once you get there, say amen.
Amen.
Mark 14:30. Let's look at 32. Then they came to a place which was named Gethsemane, and he said to the disciples, sit here while I pray. And he took Peter, James, and John with him, and he began to be troubled and deeply distressed. Then he said to them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch. He went a little bit further, fell on the ground, and prayed that as if it was possible, the hour might pass from him, which is what we just saw earlier. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will. And we saw that he fell down to the ground. And each time you see Matthew, Mark, and we're going to look at Luke here in a minute. We see that each one of them describe a different version of how he surrendered to God.
Come on.
How he surrendered to God. And are we willing to surrender to God like that?
Come on.
God ain't asking us to bleed. He ain't asking us to necessarily fall to God, although some of us need to. Amen, somebody. But God is saying, can you totally submit yourself to me? One of the things that I think a lot of church people lie about, and some of you may disagree, when we walk into the church, and we're the first time in the church, and I ain't gonna say every believer. Let me throw this out here now before I tell you what I'm going to say. Not every believer. Some of us say this and we mean it from our hearts. But I'm going to tell you that it's far and few. It's far and few. And it's that statement when we walk into the church, and y'all going to say this, y'all can say it, I don't have no problem with it, I'm just saying this here. It's the fact is this, because your best actors and actresses come out of the church.
Hey,
Amen, somebody.
Hey!
Your best actors and actors come out of the church. And when we walk into the church and we're the first time visitor, y'all just happen to be first time visitors, but I'm not picking at y'all. When we say, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. Okay. If he's the head, what y'all think about this here? If he is the head of your life, can this body go over the head? No. Huh? Can this body do and the head stand still if the head want to stay here?
No.
Understand what I'm saying? When God is the head of my life, I can't do nothing without his permission.
Oh, hallelujah.
Understand what I'm saying? I can't do nothing without his permission. And if he's the head of my life, who I'm going to seek when I get up in the morning? Who I'm going to seek when I'm going to get dressed in? Who I'm going to seek on the route to home? Who I'm going to seek when I'm fixing food? Who I'm going to seek when I'm talking to somebody and what I need to say, what God wants me to say? Who I'm going to seek? I'm seeking the head and not the body.
Yes.
Y'all follow me? Because too many times we say this and it sounds good, but we're not living it. Because once we get away from the church folks, if he's still the same head in the church, he's supposed to still be the same head out in the
Oh,
street.
hallelujah. Yes.
Am I telling the truth, somebody? If he's the same head in the church, he's supposed to be the same head when I'm having a family reunion. There's some people there I can't stand.
Yes.
But I still got to love them.
Yes.
If he's the head, then he's the same head when I'm on the job and my boss is saying something I don't like. And God said, pray for those that misuse you. He's still the head.
Amen.
So if he's the head, do it line up when we're away from the church?
Oh, have mercy.
I know really what we do. We put y'all know they got the rubber mask that you can go into the store and buy. You know, they have a Halloween time and you can look like somebody else. You don't play with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A whole lot of us come to church with that Halloween mask on. I'm holier than thou. He is the head of my life. And we'll wear him for a while.
Yeah. On Sundays, that's our Sunday mass.
Pastor Vanessa said it, I didn't. But I don't disagree. We'll wear him for a while, but let me get in the, oh Lord, let me lay my Jesus head down now. You finna see the real me. You shouldn't have said that to me. You shouldn't have started what you started. We're home now.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Wait a minute. So really the true head was up underneath over the artificial head. Am I telling the truth? It should not be. I tell folks all the time, the same way I cut up on my job, the same way I cut up in here.
Amen.
You ain't gonna see no difference. I have fun on my job. Got people out going out there, they crying, laughing. So we see right here. So we see right here in Matthew 14, and I was doing Matthew, right?
No, you're doing
He said, Mark, and he said, my Father, all things are possible. You take away this cup. But we saw earlier, like I said, he falls to the ground. So they have a different version. And let's look over here in Luke. This is our last chapter. In Luke, the 22nd chapter. 22, 39, 46. Hi. I know some of y'all waiting for football season here to get back here. Luke 22. Adversary trying to make me think I'm looking in the wrong place. It ain't crazy. Luke 22, and we're going to start at 30. We're going to start at 39. Come out, he went to the Mount of Olives, as he was his customer. His disciples also followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone throw, and he knelt down and prayed, saying, Father, if it's your will. And each one of them, you see that each one, all three, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, said that say that Jesus said, if it's your will. I'm submitting myself to your will. How many of us will say, God, I'm submitting myself to your will. This day, this hour, this moment, I'm submitting myself to your will. No matter what comes my way, I'm submitting myself to your will. No matter how it looks, I'm submitting myself to your will. No matter how I go, I'm submitting myself to your will. No matter how I feel, I'm submitting myself to your will. No matter what I want, I'm submitting myself to your will.
Yes, yes.
Many of us will say that. Or do we have select places where we submit?
All right.
He goes on to say, he said, Father, if it's your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. Strengthening him. That should be words of encouragement that for you, that when you're going through something, an angel will show up and strengthen you in your time of need. And being in anguish, agony, he prayed more earnestly, then he sweated, became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground.
Oh, have mercy.
Thank you, Jesus.
Have you ever prayed like that?
Thank you.
Have you ever prayed like that? That your sweat turned to blood? You talking about somebody pouring out. Have you ever poured out into somebody so bad that your sweat turned to blood? No, because we ain't willing to go do it.
Have mercy.
We ain't willing to let his will be done in our life. We ain't willing to suffer what he suffered. We ain't willing to run the race that is set before us. Because you may have to pray like that. It may cost you something.
It will.
You may have to go through some things you don't want to go through.
My Lord. My Lord. My Lord.
I'm running a race for my soul.
Yes.
I don't know about you. I don't know how far you're going. I don't know how long you're going to stay. But I know that for me, I'm pressing toward that. That's in Christ Jesus. I refuse to let anything or you stop me from running that race. And if I got to pray like that, I got to pray. If I got to fall to the ground, I'll fall to the ground. If I got to cry, I'll cry. If I got to fast, I'll fast. Whatever it costs me to win this race. Nevertheless, what about you? What about you? What about you? All that he done for us. What about you? You ain't in it by yourself. You got help along the way. You got people cheering for you. You got the great coach beside you. He ain't asking for much. Just stay in the race.
Lord have mercy.
Amen. Amen. Give God some praise. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Come on, we can do better than that. This is Palm Sunday week. We can do better than that. He's done so much. He's going to do so much this week. We can do better than that. He's worthy. He's worthy. He's worthy. From the top of his head to the sole of his feet. He is worthy to be praised. We serve an awesome God. He woke us up this morning. He started us on our way. He is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. All we got to do is trust him. Stay in the race. Understand that my soul is on the line.
My Lord, my
I don't
Lord.
care what I got to go through. My soul is on the line. And I refuse to let the enemy have my soul.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know about you, but I refuse to let the enemy have my soul. No. He ain't worth it. He ain't getting it. He is not getting my soul.
Yes.
Not at all. And I tell you a little secret. Everything he got in the natural, he got to give it back. He got to give it back. It's payback time. It's payback time. This season's payback time.
My God.
It's payback time. And the Bible said the violence taken by force. So I don't have no problem having a good fight. I don't know about you, but I love a good fight. I don't have no problem with it.
That's right.
Hey, he blooded my nose. I'm going to blood his jaw. I love a good fight. Amen. Amen. We bless the Lord for he is good. He is good. Anybody desire prayer? Anybody wants you to strengthen their relationship with the Father? Anybody want to get in the race and stay in the race? See, this is not a race that you should jump in and jump out.
Amen.
Too many saints doing that. They're jumping in, and depending on what day it is, they get out. This is not something you should want to do.
Thank you, Jesus.
See, I showed you just part of the reward that's waiting for you on the other side. There's a crown with your name on it. All you got to do is stay in it. You got the best coach you can ever have that's going to take you there. All you got to do is trust him.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, it's going to cost you some things. But in the end, you'll come out in better shape than you were when you got started.
Hallelujah.
You see, that's the thing about a runner. When a runner starts running and he starts dropping some things and getting some, he better shape than what he was when he got started.
My Lord.
That's the God. God wants to get us in shape.
Hallelujah, God.
You understand what I'm saying? He wants to get us in shape.
Thank you, Lord.
So if there's anybody that needs prayer, we invite you to the altar. We invite you to the altar.
Hallelujah.
Amen. We're going to pray, most gracious Father,
Yes, Lord.
who is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
Yes, God.
You are the Alpha and the Omega.
Yes, God.
You're the beginning and the end.
Oh, yes.
You're a coach above all coaches.
Yes.
We come to you as humble as we know how. Thanking you for all that you have done, is doing, and will do. Lord, as we run this race, Father, help us to stay in this race. When we're about to give up, God, show us that you're right there with us. Keep us right now in the name of Jesus. Put your arms around us, cover us, and guide us in the name of Jesus. I hear the crowd of the witnesses cheering us on, Lord, and I thank you for them crying out. Stay. Don't give up. Stay in the race. I thank you for it right now, Lord. I bless you for it right now. I thank you for all that you have done, is doing, will do. Watch over these, your people, Lord. Encourage them. We thank you for the word, Lord, that fell on good ground in the name of Jesus. We bless you for it right now. We thank you that it's going to take root. We adore you. We love you in Jesus' name. Everyone say amen. 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 Give God some praise.
We thank you very much.
Yes.
Amen.